Oh, Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for doing this. Really quick, I don't think I have any announcements. If anybody has any announcements, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I do.
Oh, hi.
I'm a new coach on the call tonight. Her name's Amanda. Raise your hand. Hi.
Oh, hi. I see you. Welcome, girl.
That is all.
That is all. I don't think I have any. If I do, I'll announce them next week. I'm just like wicked excited to hear from Bonnie. I'm like, all right, cool. Anybody else? Let me make sure I say this right. I always say it wrong. Cool. Well, I'm going to announce Bonnie. Bonnie, I just announced you on my team page not too long ago as my silent mentor for ever. Colleen's here. She says hi. Yeah, I looked up to you for a long time, so I'm super excited to have you on here. So you guys might not understand what this is, but she's been in the top 10 of the whole company for 2 times. Well, top 5 2 times. Right now, she's currently ranked number 3 in the whole entire company. She's a 15-star diamond and a Million Club member. She was going to talk about objections, which I'm glad you kind of changed it because not too long ago, I didn't have a team call. I was out somewhere and I posted one of your objections video. So that's perfect. So she's going to be talking about more inviting type stuff. So you can just go ahead and I think, are you already unmuted?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yay! What's up, you guys? I'm excited. So I'm going to talk about tonight. First of all, I love Haley. You guys are crushing life right now. So I know that if I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to people who are hungry, which I love. I hate talking to duds. So please interact and say something if you have something to say. There'll be time to talk about questions. So a while ago, I put out these team call slides that were how to invite in every situation. And that was, they sweeped the network. I posted them in this group called The Wall, and it's a 5-star and above group, and people were using them in their coach trainings. And over the past couple weeks, I started to feel bad because they're old invites, back before social media became the beast that it is today. And I feel over time, things that worked in your business a couple years ago don't work anymore, just because I personally change as a market, as a person. My personal life changes and evolves. I talk differently. I get the hang of how to tell people about the products, much like you guys will as you progress in your business. You'll get way more comfortable talking about things. And with social media platforms, it'll be different on how you talk to people. Haley obviously crushes it on Insta stories. I'm addicted. My husband and I listen to your Insta stories at night when we're laying in bed. And I'm like, why am I not as cool as Haley? I don't understand. And Andrew's always like, if you talked like Haley, people would question if you were okay. So I absolutely adore how she teaches to invite, but I invite a little differently. And I think there's a different way for everyone to find your own voice. So what I did today for actually 6 hours is recreate those slides that the entire network uses to how they work for me now, and how I talk now, and how actually some of the top coaches on my team invite. So I'm going to share my screen because I have some slides. I haven't done Zoom in a while. Let me see if oh, here's the button. Okay. Share screen. And I'll actually send these slides to Haley after the call is done. So if you can't see something or you're furiously writing down, don't worry, because I'll just send them over and you can have the slides. Can you see those? Okay. So I want to talk about, a large majority of our time as new coaches and as we try to find our voice is spent thinking about what I post publicly. How do I share my story? How do I share what I'm doing? But unfortunately, that's only 50% of our battle, right? So yes, we want to create continuity and consistency for our followers. We want them to see kind of a little bit of the journey of what we're going through, health and fitness, business-wise. What I typically tell my coaches is every single post that you do on social media, whether you are Instagram heavy or Facebook heavy, business page heavy, whatever it may be, 100% of your posts should be inviting. And Haley does a great job of showcasing that on Insta stories, but I personally believe that every platform should be like that. No, I don't mean a direct invite. I don't mean like every post I have is like, hey, come join my team. I have 3 spots left. I rarely ever talk like that. However, every single post I have has a point that wraps back around to coaching or a challenge group, right? So that's only 50% of the battle. The other 50% of the battle is inviting privately in a message. That is where the bulk of your business activity should be. If you're a brand new coach, 95% of your time in your business should be spent connecting with people and messaging people and inviting them. I get a lot of people who are brand new coaches who come to me and they say, well, I've posted once or twice about my challenge group and absolutely no one is interested, which is funny because, you know, it seems like, okay, everyone I know who follows me on Facebook or Instagram has officially seen what I'm doing. So then we think in our heads, well, no one's interested. And maybe you've been a coach for a little while and you're thinking, okay, this call's maybe a little too low level for me. But I want you guys to think about, A, how can you revamp things to make things more interesting? And B, how can you help your new coaches transition from that mindset into this mindset, right? Because often it's a battle to have a new coach understand not just how to post, but to give them the confidence and the courage to reach out privately. So I want to talk a little bit about invites in general. When I was a brand new coach, I would literally word vomit everything on people. And I see new coaches do this all the time. You know, I don't know if anybody's personality is like this, but there's a tendency to want to give all the details, right? In our new coach training on day 3, we actually have a training where people put out their first post on social media. We give them examples of what to say. And then it never fails. Like an hour later, people will come into the new coach training like, oh my God, people are messaging me. I need all the details of everything because I have to send it in one message. And that's a huge mistake. I purposefully don't give them the details right away because I don't want them to inundate people and overwhelm people in a message that seems salesy, right? So first, keep things simple, short, and in your own voice. Don't overload people with information. The second thing is connect first. So I want you to think about if you were in a, does somebody have a question or is that just, oh, it's just a, if you were in the grocery store and you found yourself standing next to somebody who was looking at the same thing in the freezer, would you automatically be like, do you like to join my 30-day accountability group? We have meal plans, portion control containers.
Sometimes.
Beachbody on.
You like being right. All of
Can everybody just check if they're muted? I think Aaron. Someone named Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, can you?
Oh, shit, sorry.
Thank you.
One time my video was on when I was on a new coach call. Like I wasn't speaking, I was just a listener, and I was naked. And I just got out of the shower. And literally I noticed like halfway through and I was mortified. I think that everyone was just being nice and told me that they couldn't see me, but I legitimately think that I was naked on this call. It can happen. So if I want you to think about like when you meet people in person, or when you see someone after a long period of time at a party or meet someone in the grocery store, the first thing you say is not, here's what I do for a living and I'm running this group. Would you like my card? Are you interested? Absolutely not. That person would be like, you're fucking crazy. I don't want to talk to you right now, and turn around and walk away. You make a connection about what you're both looking at in the grocery store. You make some connection to how does that progress to your group and how can you talk about that? How can you get their information to talk about that later? You have to think about, I think sometimes because there's a screen in between all of us, we forget that there's a person on the other side of our messages and on our posts. It's just like talking in person. Social media is called social for a reason. There's all those rules on Instagram and Facebook for a reason because they want to keep those things social and not salesy, which is awesome for us, but we just have to remember it. Number 3, everything that I'm about to show you guys are just templates. Don't get married to them. They don't work for everybody. I always have new coaches message me and say, I used one of your templates and it didn't work. The thing is, if what you're saying in private doesn't match what you're saying in public, then there's a disconnect and people feel weird about it. So if you're a person who would never, ever in your life send a message that starts with, hey girl, you don't talk like that, you don't say that in real life, and then you send that online, that sends a really cross message to people. Or if on your social media, you talk all about donuts and eating whatever you want and working out, and then in your message, you're like, we're gonna go hardcore, 80-day obsession, no treats. People are like, you're a different person in this message. So you have to make sure that all of your messages on all of your social medias, however tweaked to be different according to the outlet, they all have your same voice. And that's key. Remember that you have something great to offer, and people can sense how you feel about what you're saying in the message. So I have a top coach, her name's Madison. She's a 2-star diamond, new this year. And she describes inviting like inviting people to a party. And she always says, I invite people to my party if they have other obligations that night. I don't care. I'll invite them to the next one. And I love that mentality. And I think it's really good for this example too. If I came up to you and was like, hey, do you want to come to my party? It's going to be like kind of fun. Like we might not have food and there might not be dancing and there's going to be kind of like weird people there. And it'll probably cost you some gas to get there, but I'm still having a party. You'd be like, this person's crazy. I don't want to go to that party. But if you were excited about it, it's going to be the best party ever. I'm so excited. I don't know all the details yet, but you got to be there. You check your calendar and see if you could be there. It's the same thing inviting to whatever you're offering right now, a challenge group or coaching. You have to be excited about it because people can feel those vibes. Act like you're talking to your best friend. I don't need to tell you guys that. Use common terms, not Beachbody lingo. So I think we forget sometimes in our posts or in our Insta stories, people have no idea what a coach is. They have no idea what a challenge group is. If you're using those terms, it turns people off, right? If you go to a doctor's office, this always happens to me, and the doctor's explaining something to you using like doctor words, I have to stop them and say, can you just use normal people terms? It overwhelms me. It gives me anxiety. I have no idea what they're saying could be wrong, or potentially could be something in the future that could be wrong. Think about it like that. You know, health and fitness is already such a sensitive topic to talk to people about. So you want to put it in words that feel comforting, that feel inviting, that feel easy to understand. Use emojis, exclamation points, and GIFs. If you are not fun, no one will want to come to your party. I'm sorry to tell you. You don't have to be fun all day in real life today. I worked literally looking like a homeless person. I am not fun. I sat on my couch all day long. But when I'm talking to people, I put energy and effort into making things exciting and engaging. Remember to listen more than you give info. And this is like key even in your public social media posts. We live in a give, ask society. And I love thinking about that in my social media. If you're constantly asking things of people, you will turn people right off. If you're not giving, if you're not listening, if you're not asking what they're interested in, what drew them to you, then there's no way you can ask for anything in return. So if all the messages you're sending are like, hey girl, would you like to be in my fitness accountability group? Or hey girl, would you like to be a new coach on my team? You're asking before you're giving. So you have to give in your messages, connect with them, tell them they look hot in a picture, give them a compliment, make them feel good, tell them that they'd be great at what you're doing and that you see something in them. You know, never underestimate what that can give to people. Okay, so initially, you know, I think that sometimes we have the wrong idea about this word warm market. Sometimes we think that warm market means only our friends and family. But I want you to think of your warm market as everyone who is a third-degree connection of someone you know. So that means friends of friends on Facebook, your mom's cousins, Uncle Sally's nephew who met you once at a wedding when you were 3 years old. That's all considered warm market. Your warm market never dries up. 4 years later in this business, I still have people coming to me saying, you know, cousins or friends of my cousins or people I went to high school with, Bonnie, I'm finally ready. I've been watching you for 4 years, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, but it's legit a thing. Like everyone has a different time frame in this business that they come to you. So if you aren't being consistent, either in inviting them or showing up every day, then they're not going to come to you. They're going to go to somebody else, right? If you're not being consistent, I can damn well tell you that I'm going to be consistent with them and I'll invite them. So initially, when I'm a brand new coach, what I tell what I tell my new coaches and what I was told as a brand new coach is to make a list of all those people that are my third degree connections. So yes, friends and family, but more so what I concentrated on when I was new were those people who I knew on Facebook, but I didn't necessarily talk to in real life, right? So there's that aspect of warm market connection, so they know and trust me. They know I'm a real person. They know they went to high school with me and they can name some things about me. So I don't have to do that work on the front end of gaining their trust, right? But they're also still a little bit of a third degree connection, so I don't talk to them all the time. I don't see them all the time. Those are the easiest group of people for me to make a connection, and the easiest group of people for new coaches to make a sale. And it's really, really important when you're going into this business as a new coach to get those couple yeses. They're like, seriously, like you're doing crack for the first time. It's so addicting. So what I tell my new coaches after they do their initial post is that all that work is really done in the private messages. And these are some examples of what I would say. My love, okay, so I'm sure you've seen my post. Here's the deal. I'm starting this online fitness group because I can't take feeling this way anymore, like we were talking about at the bar the other night. Question, would you want to do this with me? So I connected something that we have in common, a conversation that we had or an event that happened. And if you guys notice, there's no details in this message. It literally doesn't even say what the fitness group is, what you would like to do with me, asking a question to prompt a response, and this is important, creating curiosity. So in your first messages and any kind of invite, you need to, yes, give some specifics, but create enough curiosity that they want to reach out to you, right? This is kind of that idea that we use in our public social media, right? We don't call it energize, we don't call it Shakeology. We call it something that prompts a response. We do this in our private messages too. If you're not doing this, it's time to start. Here's another one. This is to my cousin. Helene, you need this shake, like stat. Have you seen my posts, right? Simple, to the point, one sentence. Does not have to be this overly thought out, long, drawn out message. Hey, Amanda, thank God for Facebook because I got to see all your gorgeous wedding photos. I saw your post about holiday food attacking you. LOL. I'm in this fitness group with meal plans, a tracker, and workouts. Would you be interested in doing it with me? Again, super concise and to the point. This one's one of my favorites, and I actually learned this from Haley. Linz, hey girl, I saw your Insta story today and I was wondering, are you a coach too? Because you already post just like one. There's an interesting thing about telling someone that they already do what you're getting paid for, right? It starts their wheels turning. I have a top coach friend. She's one of my success partners. Her name's Nikki Johnson. She's a 12-star diamond. And she originally signed up because her coach, who she went to high school with, said to her, you're already doing the work of a coach. She was posting about workouts that she found on YouTube for free, but you're not getting paid for it. And that was the phrase that prompted her to sign up to start this evolution for her family. Now she's a full-time coach and supports her whole family on this with something so simple. You know, often we think invites have to be, so perfect and so crafted well, but it's just about reaching someone with a simple message and being yourself. I know we hear that so many times, be yourself, be yourself. It kind of like gets annoying after a while, but it's true. Okay, how to invite someone who likes your coaching or challenge group posts. So while you're doing all this work privately, the other 50% that we learned in the beginning about posting about your journey, doing a video, a little clip of you doing your workout, a little clip of what you're doing as a coach, whatever it is, there's going to be people that you can see are watching your Insta stories or people you can see that are liking your stuff or viewing your videos. That is a clue for you that these people are maybe interested but don't have the courage to reach out. I can remember I followed my coach for probably a good 6 or 7 months before I actually reached out. I found her on Google, and then I stalked her on social media, and I was following and watching her videos and watching her posts. I never liked anything, but I'm sure she could see that I was following her and kept showing up, and I maybe liked 1 or 2 things. But I can guarantee you that if someone else reached out to me in that time frame when I was doing that, I would have said yes, right? But I didn't have the courage. I didn't have we have to remember that people on social media, a lot of them are, probably some of you are like this. before you become a coach, it's almost like you're nervous to reach out to them, right? You don't want to say, oh, I don't have the money for that, or I don't think I would be good at that. So we have to be the ones to bridge the gap between follower and liker and actually signing up, right? So there's half the battle. You know they're interested. You know they're following you. You know that they know as soon as they get a message from you what it's going to be about. So we don't have to be scared about, oh my gosh, am I going to scare them off? Or am I talking about Beachbody too much? That's just not a thing. Examples. Babes, I saw your comment on my post about my challenge group. Were you interested in getting some details or just supporting? Totally cool either way. So basically this takes the pressure off of that person, right? I'm saying, were you interested or were you just showing me some support type thing? This gives me a window to either ask if they know anybody else who would be interested, if they are secretly interested and just didn't want to say so because they feel self-conscious. Health and fitness is such a difficult thing to talk to people about. So sometimes we have to take down the imaginary wall that a lot of people build up in front of themselves. I know before I got started, I was so self-conscious about maybe having to post a before and after picture, or maybe saying, I don't know if I can get through that insanity workout. That's a really personal thing that a lot of people struggle with, and they build up walls to protect themselves. So we kind of have to trick people in our messages to get them talking and telling us what they're insecure about. I can remember us talking and joking about how crazy expensive the gym was last summer. I found a better way. I saw you like my post today. That's what I was talking about. It would be so fun to do this together, right? This is an example of finding common ground. So it is really common knowledge what the gym is, right? Everybody has a gym membership. Everybody knows how it works. You pay a fee, you go to the gym, and then you stop going to the gym after January, right? Everybody can kind of giggle about that and have common ground. If finding common ground with someone is kind of like opening up the floodgates to a conversation. Did you ever go to a party? I always think about this at Beachbody events, like at leadership. You see so many people that you kind of talk to all the time. You kind of send messages online, but then when you see them in person, you have to come up with conversation, right? And it's awkward in person. Sometimes it can be a little bit exhausting. But I noticed this past leadership, everybody's opening line to me was, how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Because they know I'm pregnant. And it was interesting to me how good we all are at opening that conversation with a median ground that we both can talk about. It's the same in conversations on social media. Think about being at a party. You know, what are the things that you have stacked in your brain to keep that conversation going when it dies down? Okay, how to invite someone after you add them to your friends list or follow them on Instagram. So once you've branched out of your warm market, you kind of go into this thing called cold market. And I'm sure you guys have trainings on, hashtags on Instagram or friending people on Facebook and all of that kind of stuff. But what's the next step, right? You're just friending all these people on Facebook, or you're adding all these people on Instagram, or searching hashtags and liking and commenting on their stuff. But then how do you bridge the gap between, okay, I have a new follower or someone who liked my business page. Now, how do I bring them into my circle, my web, right? So I always send them a message. Maybe it's a couple days after they've liked something or we've followed each other. And I always get the question, how do you keep track? I don't keep track. I'm not super organized, but every week I'll go into either my followers list or my business page likes, and I'll just scroll through and find 5 or 10 people that I haven't talked to before. And then I'll send them a message from there. It doesn't have to be anything super trackable or fancy. And I'll simply say something like, hey girl, wanted to reach out to you after I sent you a random friend request. I'm a new mom to be, and I saw your name in that Lady Gang Moms group we're a part of, and you look so cute. I related to your message about how you felt about your body changing. Girl, me freaking too. It sucks right now. Anyway, I wanted to have another mama to be on my timeline thinking of you. Nothing about Beachbody, nothing about do you want to join a group, but I made a common ground connection. This was actually today. She messaged me back right away, and she said, how are you staying so fit during your pregnancy? Then it literally gave me a window to talk right about what I'm doing. So it's just about opening that door to starting the conversation. Okay, this next message is from another one of my top coaches. Her name's Calais. She crushes Instagram. All of her coaches and signups come from Instagram. And she sends this message to all of the people that follow her. She says, hey, Morgan, happy Thursday. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for following me and showing me love on my post. It's so hard to put myself out there sometimes, but having support from people like you means the world to me. You seem like a really cool chick, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your posts too. Anyways, thanks again. Hope your week is going well. And she says that this message has been like a game changer for her. Before, she used to message like, hey, want to join my challenge group, or saw you liking my stuff, are you interested in coaching? But she says that this really takes the pressure off of people, and she has like a 99% response rate where people message her back and say, oh my gosh, I love your post, I look forward to them, I wish I could do what you do type thing. And then that opens up the conversation from there. So often it's not about, you know, launching into exactly what you're doing, but it is about, you know, complimenting that person, thanking them, saying something about yourself and something about them, so you open that up. So when you send an invite and they haven't responded, you get ghosted, right? Or they say no. Now, it's really interesting, like the mentality of a Beachbody coach or a network marketer and the mentality of a marketing firm. So a lot of people don't know this, but before I became a Beachbody coach, I worked at a medical marketing firm in New York City, and we handled women's medical care. So basically, we would market Plan B, so the morning after pill, Ovia, birth control. We did commercials for all of that. And I think that we forget sometimes it takes years and months for these companies to put a commercial up, right? They have to find the right demographics, the right lighting, the right actors, the right ethnicities to sell their product. Think about Super Bowl commercials, the Domino's commercial, the Affleck commercial, for crying out loud. These people, they don't spend all this time crafting the correct message and all this money into these commercials and then show it once and take it down. Like, oh my gosh, everybody's already seen my commercial, so I'm not going to put up my commercial anymore that cost me $1 million. Absolutely not. How many times does it take you to see a commercial to actually have it register in your mind what's happening on the screen? For me, it's like 10 times. Now I could say the Affleck commercial probably by heart. But us as coaches, we're like, well, I don't want to tell my story too much or message too much because I don't want to scare someone off. But research shows that someone has to see something or hear something 7 to 8 times before it actually sinks into their mind or they actually consider it. I mean, think how many times, you know, did your coach invite you, or how many times did you think about joining? That we have to keep in mind when we're talking to people. So the majority of my people who I talk to don't answer me the first time, take a while to get back to me, read my message and never respond. So it's not that I send these messages and all of a sudden magic happens and every single person signs up. That's just not how it goes. So here's some examples of what I would send if that happened. Hey girl, I can actually see that you read my message. If you aren't into it anymore, no worries at all. Just let me know either way so I can open up another spot in my challenge group. Again, taking that pressure off of them. That 9 times out of 10 gets them to say whatever their objection is. No, go ahead and open up another spot. We just don't have enough money this month, maybe next month. So that gives me a way to combat that objection before they've even told me no, right? They're just saying, no, go ahead, open up another spot. You know, I can see when people read my messages, LOL, what are you nervous about? Sometimes you've got to be blunt, you guys. We're in this business to invite people, show them the opportunity, and move on to the next. There's no use in being scared about what someone might say or what someone might think. Hey, love, we are having a holiday group start. I know last month wasn't a great time for you, but these girls are excited, and I think this 5 would be so good for you. Hey girl, I know last month you were focused on your dental bill, just wondering if you got that fixed. Man, what a hassle our teeth can be. So as I'm inviting people and maybe people have objections or they say no, I will actually, I have a notebook and I'll write down their name, where I talked to them, and what their objection was, so that later on when I message them, I can go back to whatever their objection was and reference that. This shows people that I'm actually listening to them, that I actually care what they said last time, and it's just really furthering that relationship so that we have more to build upon. So then lastly, after you've sent these messages, what the heck happens when someone says, yes, I'd like more info? At this point, even now, I'm like, shit, what do I say? How do I say it? How do I word it? You know, how do I make it simple? This month I'm doing this kind of challenge group, but I don't want to scare them off. You know, like it's difficult figuring out how to word things. So Here's a couple examples. Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. Have you ever heard of Beachbody program before? P90X Insanity 21-Day Fix. This usually opens it up to them saying, oh yeah, I tried Insanity like 3 years ago and I never finished it, or I had a bootleg copy of that. Then we can kind of connect on that level, because so did I, and then move forward from there. So after that, I typically say, oh, if you haven't or have, no worries. I always just like to ask first so that I'm not talking about something forever that you already know about. The only requirements for the group would be a workout program of your choice, all at home and streaming, that I would actually help you choose, and Shakeology, our superfood shake, such a game changer. The group support and accountability are free $99. So this is me like simplifying how to describe a challenge group, right? Instead of saying a big long paragraph about accountability and portion fix and all of these things, just in layman's terms, Shakeology is a superfood shake and a workout is streaming that I would help you choose, right? Keeping things simple. And then here at the bottom is just kind of how I lead into coaching. You would already be great at coaching. Ever see a movie that's awesome that you tell everyone about, or recommend a restaurant that changed your life with spaghetti and meatballs, LOL? You would tell everybody about it. That's basically what we do. Use our programs, get results, and build a business from that. This is like the most simplistic message that I would send about coaching when people are like, I don't even get what that is. It's game changing, helps me with my meals because I hate to cook but want to be skinny, LOL, and getting my workouts done. I always talk myself out of it on the way to the gym. Are you the same? And this one's important because I really think there's a misconception, you know, with people who are outside of our business. They think that being a coach means you have to be super, super fit, a personal trainer, know everything about every one of our workouts. I always get these coaches who are like, well, did you first do every single workout that Beachbody has so that you could tell everyone about it and then do all the meal plans? You know, this is showing people, and the same as you, and peer-to-peer marketing right now. Peer-to-peer marketing in our society today is the most popular. If you think about Airbnb and Uber and Yelp, they all have sections of their website where other people who have experienced these things, these drivers, these apartments, these restaurants, tell other people who want to experience them about it, right? And that's how people make decisions nowadays. People don't want to be sold by an infomercial or a commercial anymore. That's why those businesses are dying. And that's why peer-to-peer marketing, network marketing, MLMs are on the rise, because people don't want an expert anymore. They want someone who's normal, everyday person, who's getting through things using what they're promoting and doing it well and showing other people how to do that. So I think there's a misconception sometimes when we're talking to people that we have to know all the answers, but it's actually way more endearing if you let people know, hey, I don't do this either. I don't cook and I'm not good at meal planning, but these simple things help me to maintain this body. That's all I have. I would be more than happy to answer questions or talk for a little bit. I know that was quick because I talk really fast.
It was so perfect. Oh my God, thank you so much. I love seeing those examples. Oh my God. Hold on, let me just see if we have anything in the chat before I just start talking. Colleen, do you invite more to challenge groups or the coaching now?
I think it depends. I was told that I need more points in the customer category, so right now I'm inviting the challenge groups, but the majority of the time I invite to coaching just because that's my comfort zone.
I wish I could just invite to coaching and coaching only. All right, let's see. Anybody else have any questions? Don't be shy. Can you read that?
Oh, let me see. When you get an objection around money, do you utilize the clean week, or is there an alternative route to start? Okay, so don't show this video to corporate. I am not in love with the clean week idea. I think it's great for people who sign up for Beachbody on demand for the free trial, just to navigate things. I personally like to do free groups that are not centered around nutrition and fitness, that are centered around maybe debt management or hair and makeup, because I think that doing a free group about health and fitness attracts people who aren't ready to invest in health and fitness, if that makes sense. I think it's a great tool for brand new coaches who are having trouble explaining what a challenge group is. So I do run clean week groups for my team every single month, but I don't personally run them for me, if that makes sense.
Yep, I basically told Carl the same thing. Let's see. Cool.
Do you follow an invite calendar schedule? So I don't follow a like a social media post calendar, which I think is what you're asking, Michelle. But every single month in my team page, I make a calendar for everybody with whatever the upcoming groups are. And that mentally helps me think, okay, this is my month and I have, a sneak peek starting tomorrow. So this week before that starts, I'll post all about coaching, or I have a challenge group coming up next week. So then that next week will be about working out and eating right and getting people interested in that. So I don't love following a strict posting schedule like some people do, because I feel like it just makes me sound way unauthentic if I don't want to talk about it that day. But I do kind of like have in my brain, okay, these are the things that are coming up.
Awesome.
You said you're not very organized. I did say that. Neither am I. What do you do to stay on track with everything? Let me show you. So when I first retired my husband, he tried to help me with the business. Like when I retired him, we were going to do he was going to sit on the other side of the desk and we're going to both be Beachbody coaches. And then he saw how I work and okay, so these are old bills and accounting papers. And these are where all my notes are. This is how I'm organized. I'm not a Melanie Mitro. I'm completely opposite of her, which is probably why I'll never be a top coach. But I think find a system that works for you. If you're a person who likes Excel, use Excel. I tried to be super organized. I downloaded this program called Asana, and it made me so stressed out trying to use it and trying to write everything in it that I almost didn't do my work because I was so obsessed with learning this new program. I was like, I have to be organized if I want to be successful, but that's just not the case. I have a notebook that I've had the same notebook. It's from Marshall's or TJ Maxx or whatever. It was $9.99, and it says dream big on the front. There's nothing in it but just pages. And I just write down every single time I talk to someone, just write their name down and where I talk to them. And I just start a new page every single day. So it's not super complicated. And I don't have any systems or anything, which my team probably hates me for, but that's how I like to work. So I would say it's just like personal development. You're not struggling with finding your voice, then don't read a book about finding your voice. You have to find what system works for you best.
I'm literally the exact same way. You should see what I'm looking at right now in front of my face. It's disgusting, but I love it. That makes me feel better about life.
When someone messages you asking for the price right away, do you answer that question right away? Yes, girl. Okay, this fires me up. Everything costs something. Everything in front of you right now, wherever you're sitting, I see people on couches, that cost something. Picture frames, that cost something. This water bottle, I bought it. Nothing in life is free. That would be like walking into a gym and being like, yo, is this free? When people are scared to tell the price, it literally makes me confused. I always laugh at that. Of course it costs something. Nothing in life is free. Mm-hmm. So when someone asks me what the price is, I say, yeah, what do you want? Here's what the price is. Everything costs something. So I'm never afraid of that.
Love that. Cool.
Can I ask one question? You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm trying to find.
So if your Facebook was deactivated, what would be your business plan after that? Do you have a place where you store ways to contact people?
Yeah, so I actually have everyone that I talk to in my email. So when I'm talking to someone, I'll ask them to send me their email address, and I have an email list of everybody's contacts. And I think if that were to happen, I mean, it would suck, but I just start over again.
Right. Thank you.
Now I'm paranoid. I'm like, why? What do you mean?
Because one of my good friends, her she was doing this for like 3 years. She was pretty successful on Facebook and completely just got deactivated for no reason.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, people are bugging out. I'm just acting like it's not gonna happen to me. Just keep going.
I actually just recently switched all the way to my business page because I did hear about that. Because I had a video the other day that I did at the workout with Chris at Leadership, and there was music behind him talking, and I got like a warning. So.
Are you serious? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that too. Cool.
You use your like page or personal page more on. Okay, never mind.
So you're not like posting anything on your personal anymore?
I mean, I'm gonna test it out. I'm a rule follower, and I don't like breaking rules. It makes me really nervous. And when I heard that, I like lost sleep a little bit about it. And I'm like, okay, this is not worth it. I'm just gonna make the switch. So the past couple days since Leadership, I've only been posting on my business page and my Instagram. However, if you're a brand new coach, I think that you definitely 100% should start with your personal page still. I think that it's silly to try and not do that. I mean, this has always been a rule on Facebook, you guys. Like, you've never been allowed to run a business on a personal page for the past 10 years of the existence of Beachbody or any other MLM. So as long as you're not being super, super salesy, like, you know, posting links or a ton of groups or anything like that. There was this phase a long time, probably like a year and a half ago, where people said they were shutting down accounts if you were an admin in too many groups. And I started to bug out and like delete all of my groups and get out of all of my Success Partners groups. And then like nothing ever happened. Now it's 2 years later and I'm in a million groups again. So I just think be aware of the rules and just make sure you follow them and everything should be fine.
Yeah, and collect emails.
Yeah. I mean, and that should be true of anything that you run your business on, because none of it's ours. Like, we don't own the platform of Facebook and we don't own the platform of Instagram. So, you know, make sure you at least collect the information, not like this, like somewhere else that you can reach those people later on.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Do you have tips on building your like page and getting more followers if you're new to coaching? So for me, for probably the first 3 years of my business, I just posted the same thing on my personal page that I posted on my business page. I'm not sure if that's the right answer because I'm not like a expert, but I have 50,000 likes on my business page now after 3 years. But again, that's after 3 years of posting content consistently. So don't make it super complicated for yourself. If you're creating content already for Instagram or whatever it is, just copy and paste it over there. So at least you have some collateral. So if you did have to switch, you know, you had like kind of a backlog of a little bit of posts. Mm-hmm. Do you have, I said that one. I have a like page, but it isn't really set up yet. I have no idea where to start. Just start, girl. You're overthinking it. What's your favorite workout program ever? I don't know, 21 Day Fix, I think.
Well, you're the best ever. I can't wait to like stalk those slides again. I appreciate it. I know it probably took you literally forever to do that, so thank you.
I was watching Stranger Things while I did it, so.
I need to watch that. I know. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. I really appreciate it. That was perfect, and it taught me so much.
You're welcome.
Everybody have a good night. And again, thank you, Bonnie. I'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.